Hey guys, Eric Waller here, the Regular Joe CEO. Tonight I don't have my fancy editing, so every time I say you're gonna hear it. I don't have the green screen. I'm coming to you from a hotel in New York, and I'm headed out for Shanghai tomorrow. And so I wanted to get a little video out. And first I want to say I really appreciate all the comments I've got. They're not just hey cool. I mean, there's some of that, but there's a lot of really thoughtful comments and interactions, and they're to the level that I know you guys are busy and you take the time to share these things and to write comments and to write recommendations, and I know those things take time, and so I gauge the response level as being really positive, and I appreciate it. So thank you very much. It means a lot to me and the boys and to Neely who are doing this, so I appreciate it. So I got a lot of suggestions for topics, and we're taking those topics. But tonight I want to talk about employee retention. So one of the guys watching the video sent me a message. He's a small business owner. He said, look, I keep hiring these guys. I train them up, and then, the competition's taking them. They're not, I've got this equipment that I run that's not necessarily the best equipment, but if it's well maintained, it works okay, but they don't really care about my equipment, and they'll go to these companies who have new equipment, and really, it's really making it hard to run my business. And sometimes I think about, hanging my hat up and kind of maybe walking on the deal. So, but, I can't necessarily solve every problem, obviously, but I do think that the topic around employee retention is a really important one. So this is one that I've had really good luck with in some areas and not so good luck with in other areas. So, again, I promise you guys the blood and guts of the deal. So number one is, their studies are crystal clear that employees quit their boss. Okay, so number one, employees don't quit companies, they quit their boss. That's 90% of the time, all right? They may say, hey, I'm going for another opportunity, but why are they looking, right? I mean, why are they even looking for an opportunity? Because they're quitting their boss. So, the first thing you got to understand is that's the truth, And if you're running a small company or a large company, it doesn't matter. If it's a one-man, you're the only boss, you're going to take it personally anyways, and you probably should. The second study is that it's not really about the money. I mean, people have to have what they got to be paid a fair wage. They got to be paid, if the range is, 12 to 16, if they're in the range of 12 to 16, depending on their experience level and, other factors of their skill set, then they're usually fine. I mean, of course, people quit for $1 an hour. Why wouldn't they? But if you're in the range and you're taking care of them, hopefully they're not looking. But, one thing you can do is create a company culture where they really want to be there and they're part of a team. And so I'm going to give you some tips on how I've done that. In some cases, not successfully. In some cases, really successfully. But one of the things that is there are studies, and I can't cite the study. I'm going to say maybe Harvard. My buddy, again, I've talked about him before, but Nelson Repenning at MIT, what he told me was that the studies show that the number one thing that employees like is a sense of accomplishment. That's kind of weird when I say it. It's a sense of accomplishment. It's a sense that you're getting something done. It's a sense that they're making a difference. It's a sense that the company's moving forward, their roles moving forward, their department's moving forward, their team's moving forward. Even when they're not, you're stopping and resetting the goalposts and showing them why. So that's kind of what you got to think about what employees. And he said, well, that doesn't make sense. I mean, I got guys quitting for $1. I got girls leaving for better schedule. What's going on? Well, there's some of that. That's true. But think about it in terms of your career. When you worked for a company that you got things done or you met these big milestones, you probably felt pretty good about it. When your manager said, hey, we're going to get X done by the end of the year and we're 30% of the way there and it's, you guys are doing good, that made you feel pretty good. So, maybe think about ways in your business that you can make sure they're having a sense of accomplishment. That assumes they're accomplishing something. Okay? That it can't be just going to work forever until you die. You gotta set targets for them, and that's hard as a leader to sit down and set those targets for people. Maybe it's a maintenance target. Your equipment doesn't break down. Maybe you acknowledge the fact that, and I'm not picking on the person that told me this, so don't don't take it personal, but I'm just saying example. Maybe your company's equipment in that good of shape, and you acknowledge that, and you work towards how you're going to fix that with them and acknowledge it. Again, maybe it's more flexible schedules is what you need to provide. Maybe it's it's not all just. It really depends on the business, different things, but. Think about building a culture where you'd want to work there and your people want to work there. I'm going to tell you what my number one problem is. I work a lot. It is 9 o'clock at night. I've been working all day long. I showed up here in New York without any sleep, and I got up early. I think I went to bed Sunday night at 1:30 because that's what it took me to pack for this week-long trip. And I'm leaving for Shanghai, so I had to consider China. I got up at 6 a.m. and got in a car and went to the airport, and I've been running ever since. So, people, I lost my train of thought. Okay, guys, you're getting the real thing here, right? But, people got to work hard. Oh, I know what I was saying. One of my kind of downfalls is I expect people to work hard, and I think that's a realistic expectation. But the problem is I don't necessarily do a good job of saying, hey, you're doing a good job, you're working hard. I just expect that as a basic bottom line of having a job. Show up on time and work. That's kind of like 101, right? But people need to hear it, whether I like that or not, or whether I think that's true or not. Another thing I want to tell you guys, if you're losing key people, is the studies are very clear that top performers require more interaction with their manager, not less. Common sense says, hey, the better you are, the less I got to manage you. But the facts show the better, higher performer you are, the more time you need to spend with them, because these are people who are making serious decisions in your business, serious decisions about their future. They want to understand where their part in the program goes. They want to understand how they play into the big story, and they got options. So you got to talk to them. So trying to cover how to reduce employee tension. What about your wellness benefits? And you say, hey, I'm a small company, I can't have wellness benefits. Doesn't mean you can't have everybody pitch in $20 for a weight loss challenge. I mean, I run a big company. We all pitched in $30 on Monday. I didn't. I'm here. I'm hoping they let me kind of join a week late. If you guys are watching this, I plan on doing the weight loss challenge. I just wasn't there for the weigh-in. And I think as a CEO, I should get a little latitude in that. But maybe they make me sign in a week late, and I got a week less to lose weight. I'm fine with that too. Maybe they make me pay a little more into the pot. But anyways, you could do those things. If you're trying to include the family, you could have a company picnic on Saturday. And I know that some of you guys that aren't the captains of fun, like me, let me tell you what I do. There's people in my organization that are captains of fun. I'll let them be in charge of the fun. My HR manager is the funnest person on the planet. I'm not, okay? So I don't plan the party. I just get out of her way because it just wears me out watching it, right? But you know what? The people like that. Maybe it's to buy lunch every once in a while. Maybe it's, if you don't have a tuition reimbursement program, maybe you say, look, I'll pay for you to go to college at night, and you got to stay with me a year. I don't know, but you got to get creative. You can't just keep losing employees, because I think the person that shared with me hit it on the nail. I keep spending the time to train. This is not finances, but time's money. And, if you're spending a lot of time and effort training people, you got to spend just as much trying to figure out how they're not going to leave. Now, let me tell you about a time people leave that's a good time. If you train and develop a person, and that person is capable and willing, and you got nothing for them to do, you should be absolutely ecstatic when they leave for that opportunity that's better than what you can provide. It sucks, but you should be happy. That's a time that I'm stoked about. And I'll tell you why. I believe as a leader that one of the best measures of how well you're performing as a leader is the following. The people that work for you are in better condition having done so. And I can tell you what, I work hard for people to be in better condition from a job market standpoint. Maybe personally, if I get the opportunity to impact their lives personally, that'd be nice, but my role is to impact their lives professionally. But if they're in a better shape professionally because they work for me, I've done my job. And you know what? I sent a few out the door because it was better for them to not work for me. Sometimes you got to learn that lesson too, okay? So I'm not trying to sell the whole everything's nice and rosy, but if you're losing employees, just do something. And if you're not fun, Just get somebody that is to be in charge of it and get out of the way, okay? If you are funny, you're losing people, you better look at maybe your pay or your schedule. Look at some flexibility. I'm not saying bend over and be a chump, but, you know, provide something that's meaningful for those guys. You know, I've been talking for about 10 minutes. I know I have only scratched the surface on this topic, but I do want to make this show something that helps you guys who are being better leaders, managers, and business owners and entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs. If you're providing specific problems for me, I want to try to address those. And one of the things I appreciate is how well you guys interact with these videos. So I want to hope that hearing this concept of a business owner has equipment that needs to be maintained, they're having difficulty with budgets, they're training people, they're leaving for better equipment as soon as they train them. You know, if you've got feedback for that person or that rings true in your business and you've got additional challenge, please in the comments, jump in there and talk about this stuff. I'm happy to interact with you, and I'm sure there's people that are, you know, really curious about how to keep employees. Nobody wants to lose employees. You know, if you kill an employee at work, that's, you know, that's a fatality. When you lose an employee, it's an HR fatality. It means you either didn't hire the right person, or you didn't train and develop them, or you didn't manage them in a bad behavior to fix the bad behavior and you had to let them go, or you didn't provide. I mean, there's just, it shouldn't happen normally, okay, unless they're just limited out at your company, and that's okay. They get a party and a cake when that happens, you know. But I think that I need to, oh yeah, so Jackie always said, I need to say, follow us on Twitter at regularjoe_CEO. Check out our YouTube channel, Regular Joe CEO. Our Instagram is Regular Joe CEO, and here on Facebook, it's Regular Joe CEO as well. And we have regularjoeceo.com, but again, I mentioned it's not up running because I can't figure out what I'm going to do with it, but it exists if you want to bookmark it. And thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate your comments, and if you'll share these videos with your friends that, you know, and like and comment, it helps us, you know, impact more people. And I think together as a group that we can impact a lot more people. Me talking may be impactful, but I promise you, your positive comments that are meaningful are helping people just as much, and me too. You know, I'm trying to be a better leader and entrepreneur too. I'm here with you guys. So anyways, I appreciate it. I'm off to China tomorrow. I'm hoping to maybe get some good scenery in the background and, you know, for a Chinese spot. But for now, it's just a boring old hotel in New York. So anyways, thanks for watching, and thanks for your comments, likes, and shares. Appreciate it. Bye.